Haley and welcome back to another bookish video. So today I'm going to be doing a reading vlog. Actually, it'll probably be longer than one day because I'm reading 2 books, so at least 2 days, probably 3 or 4. But I'm so excited because today I am reading Alex North's 2 latest thrillers. I actually haven't read anything by him, which is pretty surprising since he is kind of popular on BookTube, but I'm going to be testing him out for the first time. I've actually, oh my god. That's just Mochi, it's not a ghost, it's fine. I've actually heard great things about the 2 that I'm going to be reading, which are The Whisper Man, which was published in 2019, and The Shadows, which was published this year, just released a couple weeks ago, I think, from when I'm filming this. So I actually started The Whisper Man last night, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So let me just give you an overview of what the book's about, and then I'll tell you a little bit of my thoughts. So The Whisper Man is about the child abductions that happened about 20 years ago, I think it is, by the Whisper Man, and now they're happening again. So obviously the Whisper Man, the serial killer, has been caught and he's in jail, but they think he might have had an accomplice that is still active, or maybe it's a copycat killer, nobody really knows. Obviously that's what they're trying to find out. But yeah, so the story is centered around this man Tom and his son Jake, and they just moved to this town. I think it's called like Fairbanks. They moved to Featherbank, and Jake starts having these paranormal, maybe creepy experiences, and one of the things is whispering in the night at his window, so that's terrifying. And not only is it terrifying, but that is the tell of the Whisper Man. It's like what he did before he kidnapped these young boys and murdered them. So really good premise. I love a serial killer story, and yeah, I am about 60 pages in, and I don't really know how to feel. I like the concept a lot, and I really like Jake, the little boy, and I like getting his perspective, but I don't like how many perspectives we're getting and the fact that it's not clear what perspective that we're getting. So we're following Tom in some chapters, we're following Jake, we're following another guy who's an investigator that caught the Whisper Man, and we're following another investigator. So I don't like investigator perspectives to begin with, so that's a little bit like something to get over for me when I'm reading. But also, let me just show you an example. The chapters just say like chapter whatever with a number. They don't actually tell you who you're going to be following in the chapter, so it can get really confusing. Like at first I'm reading and I'm like, who is this? Like I'm mixing up the characters and like who is who and who I'm reading about and who is actually doing the thing that's happening that I'm reading about. So that is a little bit confusing. It's also really easy to mix up some of these characters because it's just like police officers. But I think once we get past the initial like getting to know the characters, maybe the voices will become a little bit more distinctive and I'll be able to kind of follow that a little better. So yeah, I'm really excited to keep reading this and updating you guys on what I think. Even though I'm like kind of having a hard time getting into it, I have high hopes because I know a lot of people love this book and love the twists and the thrillery aspects. So yeah, I will let you know when I get a little bit further into this. And then afterwards you have this to look forward to, The Shadows. And look at this cover, it is so pretty. And she's also skinny, she's a tiny little book, so hopefully this will be a really fast-paced read because at the moment this one is not going very quickly for me. But yeah, I will update you. Okay, update. I am halfway through The Whisper Man and I am happy to report that I am getting more into it. I really like the chapters with Jake, the little boy, and his dad. However, and I'm gonna put up a big, huge spoiler thing across the whole screen when I'm talking about spoilers, because I am going to be going into them a little bit throughout this vlog, just because I have to when I'm doing reading vlogs like this, or else it's not really interesting. But I loved the reveal about talking to like the OG Whisper Man in prison. I thought those scenes were like really interesting. It reminded me of Mindhunter when they're like talking to serial killers in prison, so I really liked that. But the twist that I didn't like was the reveal about Tom, I guess, Jake's dad, his dad being one of the police investigators. I don't understand how that's like meaningful, or like how it contributes anything other than like awkwardness to the story. So hopefully that goes somewhere. But I'm really enjoying Norman Collins, this like weird, creepy old man character who like collects murderous objects. He's like very interesting and weird to me, and right now they're like suspecting him for being the Whisper Man's accomplice back in the day and like still continuing on the murders today, but I really think he's a red herring. I don't think that's it. So that's my prediction, and I'm gonna keep on reading probably tomorrow, and I will update you when I get a little bit further into it. Hey guys, so I do have some reading updates. Good morning, by the way. It is the next morning, but before I do that, I'm about to go to the gym, and I just have to show you my outfit because I'm kind of feeling myself. Look at these biker shorts. Oh my gosh, also hear Boba jingling. But, oh my god, these were $11 at Aerie in store. So if you like Aerie workout clothes, which I love them, definitely go get you these. They were literally $11. Camo is so on trend, and I just feel like I had to share that because I love these. Oh my god, I love these. Okay, now I'm gonna go work out, and then I will put actual effort into my appearance, and I will tell you guys about the Whisper Man. Well, I don't know if you can hear that in the background. I got back from the gym, literally was about to sit down and put on some makeup and update you, and my fire alarm's going off, so just sitting in my car. The puppies are safe, no worries. And this is the second time there's been a fire in my building in 2 weeks. So, you know, just living with an arson. It's fine. Okay guys, we made it back inside. It's been quite an eventful morning, and all I want to do is update you guys on my thoughts. I read a little bit more of Whisper Man. Hello. Last night, I am on page 230, I think, out of 355, so I'm definitely gonna finish it today. And yeah, let me just set you down and I'll give you some more concrete thoughts. So I know I said before that the multiple perspectives were bothering me. They've kind of tapered off, and we got a new perspective that I'm actually really enjoying. So I have come to really enjoy Tom's chapters the most. And we have probably a majority of Tom chapters, and then next we have Pete's chapters, who is the main investigator and also, spoiler, Tom's father. So those are the two main perspectives, and I enjoy both of them. And then every once in a while we have a chapter from Amanda, who's another investigator, and Jake, who is Tom's son. Amanda's chapters I feel are kind of unnecessary, but they don't really bother me, and I really like Jake's chapters. And now we have a new perspective from the actual killer and kidnapper that's like going on today. So we don't know if he's an accomplice of the Whisper Man. We don't know if he's a copycat killer. We don't know who he is. It just says the man was sitting there, the man da 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 da. So we know it's a man, but we don't know who he is, but we're still getting his perspective, and I really like that element. I think that's really creative, and I don't see that a lot in a thriller. Usually if you get the killer's perspective, it's because you're following the killer throughout the book. And this is like, I don't know, a good little juicy piece that I really like. The only thing that's bothering me now with the perspectives is probably half of Pete's chapters are centered around when he goes home at the end of the day after a day of police work, and he's sitting there with a bottle of vodka in front of him trying not to drink. And I think you get some really good insight into his character during those chapters, but it's a lot of, I'm gonna drink, no I'm not. I'm gonna drink, no I'm not. And I know that's probably the experience of a lot of alcoholics, and I don't want to like invalidate that at all, but it's like not the most fun thing to read about. So I've been kind of skimming over those chapters a little bit because it gets really monotonous, and I don't know, it's kind of annoying me. So here's a big spoiler, get ready for it and skip ahead if you don't want to be spoiled. I was shook by the fact that Karen is in the media. She's like a journalist or something, because that just got revealed, and I was like, I thought she was just like making friends with Tom to be like nice and neighborly and like welcome him to the area, but no, she was trying to get dirt on the situation. That was shaking me. I did not see that coming. I thought maybe she would be like a love interest, but ooh, I did not see that, and I really like that. I'm really intrigued about who the killer is going to be. I have my theories, but they're really outlandish, and I just feel like it's going to be nobody that the author is trying to get you to expect. So yeah, I'm really excited about this book. It is picking up compared to when I first started. It was going pretty slow, but now that I'm into it, I'm ready to find out what happens. So when I do, I will let you guys know my final thoughts. Okay, I am at part 5, and I just had to give an update because this book is amazing. Like, it's getting really good. It's written beautifully, like so well. Especially like the action-y scenes are like really, really engaging. And I just really like the writing now that it's like getting to like the meat of the thrills. So, okay, I have to keep reading because I have to know what happens. Okay, bye. What'd you think, Boba? Boba was asleep the entire time I was going through this journey, which I just finished, and wow, that ending was good. I will give you my final rating and thoughts before I get into spoilers, so if you want to skip those, you can. I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars out of 5, just because the beginning was a little and some chapters were a little just like took me out of the story and the like experience of it all a little bit, but that ending was so good. The like big confrontation was written so well. All of the action at the end was written really, really nicely. Like, it was like you just wanted to keep turning pages and find out exactly what was gonna happen. I thought all of the relationships and like the loose ends were tied up perfectly. And yeah, I would highly recommend this if you like Mindhunter or like those sort of kind of creepy serial killer kind of shows and books. I think you would really like this. Now let's get into spoilers. So I love that Karen came through, and she didn't, even though she is a journalist, she didn't use that to her advantage. She was just there for Tom, and I love that they're probably gonna end up together and make a cute little family. I love that aspect of it. Also, at first, when Pete was about to like pass away, I was like, no, it can't happen. I'm gonna hate that. I really don't want it to happen. But then by the end, I was like, okay, I would have been mad if he survived because then it would be like everything's perfect and a happy ending and everything's tied up in a nice little bow. So I feel like something needed to happen to make the ending a little bit more like realistic, and the fact that Pete was like dying to save his grandson, like I don't know, I just really like that. I loved the very final like epilogue when Francis slash George slash David finally goes to prison and sees his father and is like facing that terror. Like you almost want to feel bad for him, but at the same time, like he's a killer, so but really enjoyed all of that. I also loved the themes of just like the relationship between a father and a son, and like the importance of fatherhood and like being there for your children and all of that. It had a deeper meaning and a deeper commentary than I feel like most thrillers do. So overall, love this book, and now I'm so excited to get into The Shadows. This is a little bit shorter. I think it's like 320 pages, and this one was like 360, so just a tad shorter. And I'll just give you a little bit of background about what this is about before I get into it. So this book actually ties in a little bit with The Whisper Man, which I think is kind of cool. I don't think you need to have read The Whisper Man to understand what's going on in The Shadows, but I think it's just like a cool little Easter egg if you've already read it. So I think one of the perspectives that we're following here is the detective Amanda, who we were also following in a couple chapters of The Whisper Man, and she is investigating yet another copycat killer, or so we think. So basically this man named Charlie committed some kind of horrific murder or crime and then disappeared, and that was years ago. And now there's a copycat murderer, and Amanda is investigating it. And I think we're also following one of Charlie, the murderer's, like childhood friends, or someone who knew him around the time when he committed the murders, like an old pal or something. So yeah, this seems like it's gonna be really similar to this. Like, both have a police perspective and a non-police perspective, and trying to catch a copycat killer. So I don't know. Alex North, will it be different enough where I would feel like it's a unique, interesting story? We're putting it to the test. I will let you know my thoughts. Hey! Hello?
Hey!
Here we are with our masks, about to go book shopping! Here we go. Hello guys, it is the next day and I have had a morning. I've run so many errands. I went to the freaking dentist first thing in the morning. Horrible. And yeah, I've just had I had a busy day last night. I went book shopping, which was amazing. I finally got to see a friend, which is like something I definitely took for granted before quarantine, and now it's like, oh my god, when I see a friend, my heart sings. So yeah, I did that. I was really busy this morning with errands, and I'm finally laying down to read. So I'm about 20 pages into The Shadows right now, and I'm going to just lay here and read some more because it's really intriguing so far. So I don't really have any fully formed thoughts. I'm just kind of like getting to know the story, but it seems really creepy, so excited. Okay, it is a little bit later. I'm probably like 60 something pages into The Shadows. I've made it to part 2. Oh my god, my hair looks insane, but I think I'm going to really, really, really like this book. The initial murder committed by Charlie Crabtree, the guy who disappeared 25 years ago, was described, and that scene was crazy. And the copycat murder has taken place, and it's just like, so much is going on. I'm getting like a major Slender Man kind of like creepy vibes. There's also a lot of things about lucid dreaming, so I get a lot of Insidious vibes as well. I'm really interested in lucid dreaming. I've done it before. I've done a lot of research on it. So I'm really, really intrigued with what's going to happen. If you like lucid dreaming at all, I would highly recommend picking this book up. And I'm literally only 60 pages in, but this is just one of my weird little obsessions. So I'm really excited to keep reading, and I will keep you posted on what I think. Okay, I am a lot further into the shadows. I only have 80 pages left because I just cannot stop reading. It's getting really good, and surprisingly, I really like the detective point of view, which is not normal for me, but I just really like Amanda's character. I feel like I already know her a little bit because of reading about her in The Whisper Man. So I don't know, I feel like if Alex North continues this like universe, I will definitely be picking up more of these books because I really enjoy that it is like a police investigator POV, but he humanizes them in a way that's different from a lot of other thriller authors. So I really like that, and I'm gonna get into spoilers right now, so if you don't want to know them, you can skip spoiler time. Okay. I knew that the mother was probably pushed down the stairs. Like when that concept was introduced in the book, I was like, thank God. I knew it was coming. I knew it. I just was waiting for for Paul to find out that his mother was pushed. And I think that was all done to like get him back to the town, like lure him back in. Oh my God. I can't with that. I cannot with that. Also, Billy being dead and like all the weird little things that keep happening to Paul. I feel like Charlie's alive or something, or he's like in the dream world and he's like invisible and he just messed with the real world. I don't know. I feel like maybe that's what Alex wants me to think. So I don't want to think that, but then it's like, what other thing could happen, you know? I just feel like the ending of this book is gonna get me good. So it's already midnight, but I'm just gonna stay up and keep reading this book because I just need to finish it. So I guess I'll just be tired tomorrow, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I feel like it's gonna be a 5-star. Hello and good morning. So I did end up finishing The Shadows last night, and I'm so happy to report that this is a 5-star read for me. I did not see the end coming whatsoever. Every single twist hit me like a ton of bricks. We're gonna get into spoilers. We're gonna get into final thoughts right now. Okay, so the ending of this book, the way that everything came together, it was not lazy in the slightest. Like, you could have so easily attributed every single weird like crime and murder and, you know, things like that to one person, and it was just one unhinged person that was like going off. It so easily could have been explained away by blaming it on Charlie. And that's kind of like the air that it gives throughout the whole book, is that Charlie is still alive. I was saying that in an earlier vlog clip, I think, that I was like, I don't see any other explanation for like who could be at fault here. Me too, Mochi. Literally just coughing, dead. I cannot. The ending was so good, so creative. It just came out of nowhere. Like, okay, so let me get into some spoilers because I feel like I can't really talk about it unless I do. So if you don't want to hear these, skip. Yeah, so as I said earlier, it obviously was not Charlie, and I knew that from the beginning. That was just, you know, what they're wanting you to think. In a thriller, they usually set up the kind of path that they want you to go on, and that is never what actually has happened. but the killer of like the people connected to the original case being killed by the father of the murdered child from the like recent case, I felt like that was totally believable, especially like knowing his character. And then all the rest of the like creepy little things being done by Carl to cover up James killing Charlie, like that. Oh my God, also, the whole book, I thought James was dead. I think I might have even said that in an earlier vlog clip, like, oh yeah, James is dead. No, it was Jenny. And we all thought Jenny was real the whole time, and I was like rooting for their love story. Well, she's dead. She's been dead this whole time, and he's been visiting her in lucid dreams. Like, every aspect of that, I love. I love the, like, how there's so many different intertwining things. Like, you definitely had to pay attention while reading the last chunk of this book because it was very intricately woven, but it wasn't confusing. If you paid attention, it was easy to understand. It was just intricate and smart. It was very well done and well written. But other than those spoilers, I did just want to say a few things that I really liked about the overall book and why I gave it 5 stars. All of the characters seemed really fleshed out, and I was rooting for the right people, and the overall atmosphere was very creepy. I found myself like looking around my living room. I was like sitting in the dark in my living room with just this one little lamp on over here, this one, reading into the night, and I was like looking around like, oh my God, Red Hand's gonna get me, like, oh my gosh. And the whole folklore element of like Red Hands and how that was like a thing that was like passed down that children were scared of, but it was like based on some sort of truth. I loved every element of this book so much. And I don't know, after reading this and seeing like how good a thriller written in Alex North's style can be, I feel like I want to lower my Whisperman rating. I did really enjoy it, but it took me a little bit to get into it. The ending was phenomenal, but I don't know, I feel like that's more of a 4 because this is definitely a 5, no less than a 5. I absolutely loved this book, and I didn't have any expectations for it going in, so it's not like, you know, I wasn't expecting bad, I wasn't expecting good, I was just kind of going in, and I'm so pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it, and I think I will definitely pick up another book by Alex North in the future, especially if he continues with this like Amanda Beck investigator like storyline, which is so weird for me because I don't like investigator, like police detective perspectives, but I like this one, so I don't know. Overall, I'm so happy that I gave these books a chance, and I feel like I found one of my new favorite thriller authors. And yeah, that's all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments if you've read these books, and let me know your ratings because I'm really curious. I've heard mixed things about both, so I want to know what you guys think. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with me for a little bit. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.